What is up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about Fortnite's newest update that added the Holofoil Sprite variant. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the changes that happened today. So the first addition is going to be that the Holofoil Sprite variants were added. These give you and your squad a 5% higher chance of finding Sprite variants. So it's not necessarily that you'll find rare Sprite variants, but you should see more Sprite variants when using the Holofoil versions. These aren't very difficult to find. They should be a bit more common than finding gold variants, so it should be pretty easy for you to at least get your hands on one of these. And then once you get your hands on one, you'll probably have a better chance of finding, others, since your chance to find variants will be boosted. Currently, though, there are only 5 Holofoil sprites in the game, but more should be coming at some point in the future. I'm not sure why they decided to only add 5, but the versions that were added today are going to be the Water Sprite, the Fire Sprite, the Ghost Sprite, the King Sprite, and the Striker. So these 5 sprites have a new Holofoil variant that you have a chance to get, and again, that is going to be Water, Fire, Ghost, King, and Striker. So none of them that are ultra rare, like there's not a 0 point, there's not a Reaper, so it shouldn't be that difficult to end up finding all of these at some point. And so gameplay wise, the Holofoil Sprite doesn't really change too much. If you want to find more Sprite variants, you use it, but in terms of like combat or how you approach the game, doesn't really change too much outside of that. It will be interesting to see how this kind of stacks with the Power Hour, because there will be a Holofoil variant Power Hour this Saturday, and with there only being 5 versions, I wouldn't be surprised if you play that Power Hour if you end up coming away with all 5 of the new Holofoil variants. While playing today for a few hours, I was able to get the Fire and the Water version just by playing. I wasn't really going out of my way to get them, but I did see those several times while playing today. The main kind of gameplay changes with the update today are going to be, it's the end of the Gone Wild summer event, and this removes several items from the loot pool. So starting with the exotics that were added for the summer Gone Wild event, so the Stink Rifle, the Hop Rock Dualies, and the Slap Fizz have all been removed. I know a lot of people are going to be happy that the Stink Rifle is finally gone and you no longer have to worry about playing against that. I definitely am. The Flare Gun, Shield Bubble, and Big Bush Bomb were all removed. The Mythic Goldfish, you still have a small chance to find it, but that's going to be exclusively from fishing, and it's going to be a very rare pull from fishing. For the Gone Wild summer event, the chance of getting it was increased significantly, and it was added to like chest loot as well. But now it's fishing exclusively with a very low chance. I believe Low Whip Special Serve Ice Cream was vaulted. I couldn't find it stated anywhere today from like leakers or the Fortnite patch notes for the Gone Wild summer event, but I didn't see it at all while playing today, and I played for several hours, and I also didn't play against anybody who used it. And then, asking my chat and asking other streamers, no one else seemed to have seen it today either. So I believe the Low Whip Special Serve Ice Cream was removed from the game, which I think would be a very good change. This healing item definitely was overpowered. The Shrub Bomb was supposed to be removed. This is the legendary bush that you throw down and it gives you a bush as cover and also puts a bush on your character. That was supposed to be removed today. And when Fortnite released the Gone Wild summer event, they said it would be removed on July 9th, which is today. But I saw the Shrub Bomb several times while playing today, so I'm not too sure what happened there. The Gold and the Gummy variants no longer have a boosted spawn rate from fishing. You still can find these Sprite variants from fishing. It's just far less common than it previously was. For the Gone Wild summer event, that was one of the changes that happened, was they added those variants into the fishing holes with like a very good spawn rate. I said earlier that the Flare Gun was vaulted, but the Stan Smith NPC outside Latte Landing actually does still sell the Firework Flare Gun for 250 gold. I don't know if this was intentional or a mistake. I assume it was a mistake, and at some point this probably will be fixed as well. But for now, if you really like abusing the Flare Gun and Punk Sprite combo, you're probably going to need to go see the Stan Smith NPC outside Latte Landing and buy it from him. It's 250 gold, and he has only a quantity of 1, so only 1 player in the game is able to get it. And if they don't use a max level Punk Sprite with it, then they're going to quickly run out of that. So the Flare Gun is effectively removed, even though there is that one niche way to get it. There is no longer double Sprite XP for lighting campfires. So the fact that campfires gave you double Sprite XP was an addition for the Gone Wild summer event, and so it was a temporary addition. I feel like Fortnite did not the greatest job of communicating that when the Gone Wild summer event initially started, because a lot of people thought this was going to be permanent. I was kind of confused on if it would stay or not, but today it was removed, and so now the only time you will get double sprite XP is from the Mastery Monday event, where, you know, it's just doubled for the entire day. I know a lot of people are unhappy with the removal of the double XP, but I still think it is decently easy to level up sprites. I made a video about this a few weeks ago, and this was before the campfire change was even added. But if you land somewhere secluded, there's a lot of containers, chests, ammo boxes, vegetable baskets, all of that stuff. There is a lot of things to open and loot that will give you sprite XP. And even without the double multiplier, going from level 1 to level 4 is very quick. I don't think it's very hard to go from level 1 to level 4. The bulk of the sprite XP is going from 4 to 5. And if you want to master the sprite, obviously you need to get it to level 5 and extract it. But I still think looting works really well and really easily, because you could just loot an area, hopefully get it to level 4 or close to level 4. And through all that looting, you should have enough gold to purchase quack snacks from a vending machine, or have just found quack snacks from looting. And if you get quack snacks, you get to go up 1 level. So if you find quack snacks early on, you don't want to use it. You want to wait until your sprite is level 4. If you are, you know, just playing to master the sprite, you want to wait until the sprite is level 4 and then use the quack snacks to go from level 4 to level 5, rather than using it to skip one of the easier levels. So if you still are having a hard time leveling sprites, and you're upset that the campfire is removed, just land somewhere secluded, loot up, get to level 4. Hopefully by that point you have 1500 gold, which you definitely should. You could buy the quack snacks and level it up that way, and I think it is still incredibly easy to level up sprites. Or you could just play on Mastery Monday when we have double XP, and then again it should be easy for that reason. Either way though, the looting, you know, strategy of leveling up the sprites typically will get you enough gold to get the quack snacks, and then that makes it really seamless and really easy. So I'm not too bent about the campfire changes, but I know online a lot of people were. And then one final thing I want to talk about is that mobility felt much more common to find today. I don't think they changed anything with the overdrive spawn rate, but if you remember, they did nerf it prior to the Gone Wild Summer event, and it felt like so-so. And then the Gone Wild Summer update came out, and it made things feel terrible. And I think the reason for that was a lot of the kind of miscellaneous items that were added to the loot pool. So things like the flare gun, shield bubble, big bush bomb, all of those things kind of like clogged up the loot pool. And I feel like they were mostly items that players didn't really use very much or weren't really excited to use. And so they were just kind of like taking up space for no reason. And I feel like with those items removed and there kind of just being less saturation with the loot pool, it definitely did feel a little bit more consistent to loot overdrives while playing today. It is a relatively small sample size of 1 day, but throughout the entire Gone Wild Summer update, I felt that like just having all this stuff in the loot pool made it less common to get overdrives. Now all that stuff's gone, felt a little more common to get overdrives. They're not all over the place. It's not going to be super easy to find them constantly, but it definitely felt a lot better than it did before. And then also, like I said, the removal of the stink rifle I think is a huge benefit. And then in my opinion, the removal of ice cream is also a really good addition to the game, because fighting a player that had ice cream just made fights weird. Like you're used to getting damage on somebody and then playing off that damage. But with ice cream, you know, people could just heal up immediately, and you would kind of have false information on the opponent's HP because of how good that ice cream was. So I'm happy to see that removed. But that is the main changes in this update. The removal of a lot of items, I think, makes the game better and just makes it a little bit more convenient to find what you want. Campfires no longer give double XP, and then we also have the Holofoil Sprite variants to go for, which will make it a bit easier for you to find other variants. But that is going to be it for this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, found it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.